Welcome to the channel, welcome to the workshop. Got a quick lighting project for the workshop today. I picked up this rear light cluster from a Morris 1300 last month or so, and I want to fit some LEDs to it. There's no bulb holders in the back, so I want to fit some LEDs to it, and then wire it into a USB connector, and then I can power it off USB, similar to the Star Wars light box that's behind me. So this thing's in, it's not great condition. We'll give the outside of it a clean up with some tin foil to try and get some of the chrome back. The chrome's in shocking condition. The only thing I'm worried about is I need to take the plastic lens off, and this thing's probably 45 years old. I am hoping I don't crack it when I do that. But I've ordered some round LEDs. I have some soldering to do, and then we've got to solder it onto a USB cable, which I've got some, and then we're going to mount it on the wall. So I'm going to move on to the bench. We'll get this thing stripped down. I'll show you the LED panels I've got, and we'll take it from there. Okay, so we're on the bench. Let's go through what we've got. So we've got this light. You can see it's pretty poor condition. Really, the chrome work shocking on it. There's no bulb holders in the back of it, so I can't utilise those. So I'll just take the lens off. We'll give everything a bit of a clean. But the LEDs I'm going to use are going to be these little round ones. Now I've got a pack of 10 of these, and they weren't a lot of money, and they are pretty damn close to this size. So originally I was going to mount them on the back, or try and get them so I can twist them in. But what I think I'll do, if I take the lens off, because I want to clean it out anyway, they should glue perfectly into that position. So I'll super glue them in. I can then run the cables through, put it into a connector block, and then I've got a load of these that I bought, USB cables. I'm going to cut this in half, strip out the power cables for it, and then then I've got an extension cable, and we can just extend this. So this will be hanging behind here, this will connect up to it, this will wire into those. So it should be relatively simple and straightforward, although this is a data cable as well, so we'll have to find out which of these 4 lines are the power. I'm hoping when I cut this open it'll be fairly clear which is positive and negative, but we'll get to that in a minute. First job is to get this stripped apart. So let's very carefully squeeze it. See, there's little plastic tabs on the sides here. There we go. So that just goes in there. It slides apart. So this is going to need a clean. This certainly is going to need a clean. That pads will keep in there. Now let's just see if these LEDs just drop straight in. And they're going to need a little bit. Well, that won't be so bad. I'll just push fit in there. I reckon get a file around the outside of that, I'll be able to file those down. I think I'm going to fire up my angle grinder and get these trimmed down. So give me a second. Okay, so you probably still hear it behind me winding down. I've just took that my bench grinder and just ground the edges down this, and they fit in there really nice and snug. So those need gluing in. So the next thing is I need to give all of this a damn good clean. I want to get some tin foil on this to try and clean some of this chrome up. It's not great, but there's a lot of crap on it. And then we'll get some solder gun out, and we'll solder these all together, and then we should be good to go for start cutting this up. But on the meantime, so yeah, next job is to give all this a clean. Okay, now this is cleaned up, we're going to get some general tin foil and just with the chroma clean. Okay, so these have come up pretty well. I say I've just took some light, there's a little bit more on there, might get it later. Some tin foil just to try and clean up this chrome a little bit and get rid of all the muck that's on it, that's ground onto it. Looks much better. There's just a bit of soapy water on them. So the next job really then is to get some wiring done with these, and more importantly to cut this open and find which wires are there. So there's some snips, some wire strippers. Let's see what we've got here. Yeah, looking at that, I think that inside there is what we need. Let's get this tin foil, this tape off. So we've got an earth that goes back, and I'm assuming that the power is these two, which is all I need. The others will have nothing in them, so that's fine. I'm just going to clean this up a little bit. Do a quick check on Google to make sure that those red and black wires are the positive and negative for the power. If they are, we'll strip those and we can connect them effectively to these two. I get some more wire because I want to run these off separately, so I'm going to do that check. Okay, I've got my soldering iron out. I've got some solder, some flux. So I've trimmed these back, trimmed those, and I've sorted the wiring out for these as well. So these are going to go through onto that. So let's get these tinned first. Okay, not a very good update. Now, obviously, these are all soldered in, which is all nice, and they fit in the back of, where's it gone? In the back of this, all perfect. The only problem I've got is I've just tried to hook them up to the power supply, and they won't light up. Now, what I have done is I've got my bench supply here, and I've wired them direct into bench supply. And to power both of these discs of LEDs, I need about 10 volts, which obviously this isn't even powerful enough to fire one of them up. So we have a slight change of plan. What I do have knocking about in the workshop is lots of these LED strips. So what I'm going to do, and these will run off a 5-volt supply quite happily. In fact, you could run a good 3 or 4 meters off a 5-volt supply. So what we're going to do is we're going to add these in. What I'm going to do, so I don't see that bright individual LED light, is I'm going to stick them around the inside with the LEDs facing in, if that makes sense. So they'll go around there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to cut what I need, solder in some lead wires to push through the back, and we'll hook up as we were before. So I'm going to do that, and I'll come back and I'll hopefully show you when it's all working and all in there how it's going to look. In fact, let's just go through the whole thing. So let's get this trimmed down first while the solder iron's firing up. So I need to go around the edge on this, and that'll get us an idea of how many LEDs we can get in. So we can't get to that one, so we're going to have to go to that one. And what I want to do, can you see the copper tabs? I'm going to leave and cut, rather than through the middle, I'm going to cut to one side. I'm just going to get rid of that LED. It gives me a little bit more meat to solder onto. And we're going to check it again. Perfect. I think what we now need is going to be some tape to hold all that in place. I think we're going to use hot glue, because I might hot glue these edges in as well. So we know that's all working, so we'll get rid of that. Let's get the hot glue gun out. Okay, glue gun's warmed up, so I'm just gonna that isn't looking too bad, I don't think. A bit of line. Yeah, it'd be nice to have a bit brighter, but we'll see. Right, so we've got that working. So now I need to mount it on the wall, and what I was thinking of doing was utilising this top bolt. So if I screw that, imagine that's the wall, screw that to it. I'm going to cut a groove out of here, and then this whole thing will just sort of slide on it. That makes sense. So I need to just cut a piece out of here. So I'll do that off camera rather than move around. I'm just literally going to get a hacksaw, just cut a groove out of there. So I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so I've just cut a slot out of that. The idea is that there's a bolt at the top, and this will just basically just slot into that and hold it on the wall. And that's it. That's all will hold it. So I'm just going to mount it on the wall, and then I'll do a shot of how it is. So that's the bracket fitted. So it's nothing too special, it's just a bent piece of metal. As I was saying before, that fits into this top bolt that's on here. There's three of those that originally bolted to the car. That literally just goes in like that. It slots on. And then we just need to plug this together. It's difficult with one hand. There you go, lit up. What I'll do in a minute, I'll just go get some better shots of it. With the lights turned off so you can see it a bit better. But just to add something a bit more interest to that area of the workshop. So there it is, all set up behind me. I say these are both just running down to a common USB at the bottom, to run both of these, just run the LEDs. I'm struggling to get a good shot of this. It's fairly bright actually. It looks quite good. It looks like the original bulbs are in there, which is really, really good. I'm struggling to get a shot of it with the lights turned down, purely because my camera phone keeps going into night mode, which then blows all this out and blurs it all out. What I'll try and do is get some better shots in a minute, but a quick evening's project, just to add something to the background of the workshop. I say it only cost me a £5. It's, ignoring the LED circles that I got, useless. It cost me no money. I had spare USB cables, and I had spare USB self-adhesive strips knocking about in the shed. So now, quick project, and just to add some interest in the workshop. I like having stuff around, and odd stuff. So a red tail light from a Morris 1300 suits me. I'll try and get a decent shot of it, panning around it, so you can see what it looks like final finish. I've got a little bit of light splay from the back of it, so I might fit some covers over the back. In fact, I might have a look at that now. In fact, I did. I just had a pack of grommets. I had some nice 30mm ones, I think they are, 30mm grommets. Just stuck them in the back, and it's stuck that light spread around the back of it, so it's looking even better now. But yeah, that's this project. Quick background lighting for the workshop. Thanks for watching. Cheers.